What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys are ready to receive the best hour you have ever seen in your entire life. Why? Because we got it all, baby. We got hope, we got positivity, we got incitement, we got encouragement, we got inspiration, motivation, empowerment, the whole nine, man. So I hope you guys are excited about this. Pull up a chair, pull up a couple shots, let your hair down, kick your shoes off, and get ready to receive the most power-packed hour you have ever seen in your entire life. I'm excited, baby. Let's go.
Joseph Jaffe. Why does that name sound so suspiciously familiar? Maybe because your secret screen name is Not Famous for You. What do you mean by not famous for you, Joseph? Chris Hansen here of Hansen versus Predators. To catch a predator and have a seat with Chris Hansen. Now, Joseph Jaffe, I'm going to need you to have a seat right over there. I see some suspicious activity. Something about a television show, doing interviews, 200 guests, something like that. But Joseph, you are not famous. And the people on your show, well, they're not infamous like my shows. But remember, Jaffe is not famous. So let's keep it that way. I'll be watching and listening. Behave.
This is my best kind of show notes. We didn't touch one of them, not even one of them. I'm not sure which one is Paul Rudd and which one is Lane Green.
Final card here is the ultimate outcome.
Today is take your dog to work day.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Without further ado, his debut.
Sweet Caroline.
Everybody say hello to Sammy. Is it not good?
I'm just pausing so that you just are at the front of your screen.
I'm so enormously flattered.
Branding is not a bad blind date.
I'm gonna have to take a picture of this.
No, this is agape. This is love.
I really enjoyed this. You did do your homework. You asked great questions.
I'm flattered. Thank you. You just made my day.
Look at you! You are insane.
How did I do that?
You're
How
insane.
did I do that?
You're insane.
I am not insane, but I'm Joseph Jaffe. I'm not famous. I would be insane to think that I was famous. I mean, that guy, Nelson Mandela, he's famous. But I'm just trying to stay out of trouble. So Chris Hansen, have a seat yourself, buddy. We're in for an hour of hope, positivity, and optimism. And I hope you are well. And we're going to start off. Manif, it is time to celebrate. Manif, you love your Jaffe coin. You're about to love it even more. We're about to debut something ridiculously cool. Have a look on the top right-hand side of the screen. What do you see appearing? You see a QR code, the lowly QR code. I want you to take out your phone right now, and I want you to just put your camera over it. I want you to follow instructions, and you will be getting 5 Jaffe coin deposited into your account while stocks last. And this is the abundance economy, so the stocks will always last. Here's basically what you need to do. If this is all new to you, if you haven't signed up on rally.io, go and do that. Then you're going to follow the instructions. You're going to do a very, very quick authentication on Bonfire, get Bonfire. And before you know it, within a few clicks, 5 Jaffe coin will be deposited into your account. Now, here's the beautiful thing about what you're seeing right now. And I don't know if you're aware of it, and you wouldn't be aware of it because it's the first time this has ever been done. This QR code is only live between 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern Daily Time. So this QR code is part of the way that the Jaffe coin will encourage, will inspire, will motivate everyone participating in the Jaffe economy. In this show, Joseph Jaffe is not famous, but it is really designed to drive live tune in. You know me, you know that what I care about is what I call the streaming economy, the power of live. Of course, you can watch the show tomorrow, the next day, in 100 years' time, if the cloud doesn't burst and it's still sitting on YouTube. But the joy of this is that you are being rewarded and incentivized now to tune in, to watch, and to be a part of the show. And we're going to do this again tomorrow at 12. We are live at 12 tomorrow. It is my final show until August. And then we're going to do it again on Friday's Zoom reunion show. So Manif says, nice. And happy hump day, says Mr. Brian Fanzo. Looking good, friend. And Tay Fillmore says, so excited. Jeremiah Oyang says, the crowd wins too with a Jaffe coin. You are damn right. Beautiful heart, Joseph. Thank you, LinkedIn user, for some reason. I appreciate you as well. Isn't this cool that the QR code that you are seeing in front of you right now is only live for the next 54 minutes and will change dynamically every day? And I'm going to do more and more of this, because who do I want to benefit more than anyone in the world? It's you. It's the people that are watching right now as well. Fans already got his coins. Amazing. Went through the entire thing and it was so simple. Oh, I see. Hey, Queenie. Queenie is in the house. I see that now. And I love having you on the show. Queenie, I hope you got your 5 Jaffe coin with a street value right now. It makes it sound like drugs. It's not. 5 Jaffe coin is the equivalent of about $15. And we're giving away about 50 units of them as well. Fanzo says, you look just as good on LinkedIn as YouTube. What's your secret? Who are you talking to, Queenie or me? I don't know. But let's get on with the show. Wait a second. David Libby is here. Hello from Berkey or Berkeley. I'm not really sure. I thought you were out with your child who was celebrating their 18th birthday. Maybe quickly ran to the restroom so that he could participate and get 5 Jaffe coin. But Libby, it's good to have you here. Today is Wish Fulfillment Day. And you know what? We're going to talk a lot about the power of dreams. Right, Bill? He's sitting in the green room. Maybe he's sitting in the dream room. We're going to talk about dreams. We're going to talk about the ability to dream and for our employees to dream, to make sure that no one gets left behind. Whatever your wishes are, my friends, I hope they come true. I'm certainly wishing myself in 6 days' time, as many of you know, I am undergoing open heart surgery, and I wish for it to be smooth. I wish to recover, to rehab, but also to reinvent and to retrospect and to and to reimagine and everything else that begins with re. Those are my wishes as well. Manif says the Jaffe coin is now back and above $3. That shows you what happens when you give. I wish to give you, and I believe that I will get back in return as well. I also wish to acknowledge all the amazing people, my friends, my colleagues, my family members, sometimes even perfect strangers that have shown their support for me and my upcoming surgery at rally.io/creator/Jaffe by actually not only donating. This isn't just a GoFundMe. It's a GoFundMe that is a win-win, because people from, Bomani X getting his shout out to Jeremiah Oyang, who has a heart of gold. I think Jeremiah, what he bought was a 5-minute cameo on the show where he can come on and talk about whatever he wants, and a whole bunch of benefits. And finally, David Berkowitz, who donated $9,000 US. Some of that will go towards some of the medical bills, but we're actually designing an entire bespoke custom show for him and his community. And of course, 10% of the proceeds will go to the Mitral Foundation. So thank you to one and all. But most importantly, thank you to Bill Jensen, the very famous Bill Jensen, who is going to be with us shortly. I cannot wait to talk to the founder of the Jensen Group and author of The Day Tomorrow Said No. Well, that wasn't nice of tomorrow, but you know what? I never did like tomorrow. I always did like today, but that's just me. And then after Bill, Phantom Knoet. Originally, I was saying Knoet is a Knoet, and then I'm like, no, she's a poet, Phantom Knoet. I was like, do, as Homer would say. She is a creator. She's a strategy consultant, a life skills educator, and orator, and I cannot wait to see what she has in store for us. And then finally, tomorrow, my last show until the break, Tamsin Webster, the Red Thread is in the house. And then at the end of the week, there's so much stuff to get through. I'm bringing back 2 weeks of guests, 2 weeks of guests, 2 weeks of creators to perform, to recap their episodes. That's going to be on Zoom on Friday at 12 noon. And yes, there'll be more QR codes and more Jaffe coins to give away. So finally, just want to say happy birthday to Jory Desjardins, previous guest David Sussman, the Levi himself in the house, Mandy Rissenskoll, John T. Fisher. Happy birthday to all of you and have a great day. Well, let's not get behind with everything. We have a soliloquy to get to, and tonight's soliloquy called Labels. Believers, breakers, builders. According to Bill Jensen and his beautiful book, The Day Tomorrow Said No, the future of work depends on 3 kinds of workers and leaders. Quote, rebooting with these 3 roles will spark the biggest explosion of human capacity ever. End quote. I suppose we could add a 4th kind, believers. Those would be Justin Bieber superfans, who surely are capable of anything. I'll let Bill do justice to his own text on the show, but in my monologue and my time with you today, I wanted you to take a moment to consider your role, your place, your categorization in this world. Thanks to Evelyn Starr, we learnt about the analogy between brands and awkward adolescents or teenagers, using Erik Erikson's stages of psychosocial development, and in particular, identity versus role confusion. Individuals or brands search for a sense of self-identity as they come to terms with how they are perceived by society and how they ultimately fit in. Personally, I have no problem coping with professional uncertainty, instability, or disruption. On a personal level, I'm busy, publicly and openly grappling with my own personal challenges, and in particular, mortality. Ironic, given how this is the single biggest issue. I press and I challenge brands to embrace their own shelf life, and in doing so, choose seizing the day over longevity that almost always jumped the shark decades before, mortality. No one lives forever. No man, no brand, no company, no country, no dynasty, no empire. We run away from labels, but perhaps when it comes to knowing, evolving, or changing our place in the world, we should become more self-aware by self-bucketing ourselves and then triangulating this against how others would categorize us. Are we givers or takers? Are we selfish or selfless? Are we listeners or talkers? Are we leaders or followers? Are we believers, breakers, or builders? Somewhere in the middle? A little of each? None of the above? Or perhaps something else? That times they are a-changing is an understatement, and that we need to change with them is equally understated and even a little rote. But what about our ability to be active players in this particular story? Actors and protagonists, cast members and crew, participants versus passive readers. What if we had the ability, no matter how small, incremental, tiny, and insignificantly perceived, to be the change that is responsible for a brighter, better tomorrow? Well, guess what? We do. And now, somebody that knows all about imagining a tomorrow and a better tomorrow, it's the very famous Bill Jensen. Bill Jensen is founder of the Jensen Group and a leading speaker and consultant around the future of work. He is globally ranked as a top 5 thought leader in the future of work, transformational leadership, and digital transformation. He brings over 35 years of experience and research in solving leaders' toughest challenges to this book that you're about to experience. And he creates a new path to hope, redemption, and more amazing futures for all. For more information, visit Tomorrow Said Yes, and you'll see how that's spelled, or simplerwork.com. But to put you in the mood and set the scene and tell you about this book and what we're going to be discussing tonight, I would love for you to watch this little vignette.
The day tomorrow said no.
You had one job, you didn't do it. You've set up 8 billion people to fail. You're not handing off this mess to me.
Tomorrow is running out of dreams. Only 1 in 10 of today's employees can achieve their dreams in their current jobs. 9 of every 10 workaday people, the ones who do their jobs with little fame or fanfare, watch as their dreams fade away. Backburnered by more, better, faster, more, better, faster. She could not let that continue.
Not on my watch.
Tomorrow cried out.
To get your copy of this book, go to Tomorrow Said Yes.
Are you not entertained? Welcome to the show, Bill.
Thank you. Joseph, how can you not be famous? You are already a legend in my mind and my heart and everyone else's who you just showcased a few minutes ago.
You know what? They always said that I was a legend in my own mind. So that is absolutely correct. But I'm not famous because you, the very famous Bill Jensen, you are famous, and we have a lot to get to. We have a lot to learn. I'm going to put that little QR code up again for people to get 5 Jaffe coin just by holding up their phone. It's amazing how the thing works, and it does work beautifully. And the folks over at Bonfire, thank you so much for helping organize this. But Bill, let's find out about the famous Bill Jensen. Let's find out some fun facts about you. The interesting twists and turns that is your life. I can see you're getting just slightly nervous right now. Only slightly nervous. But here's what we learned about you when we sent our investigators into the field. Go figure. Bill Jensen, he loves to write, he loves to speak, he loves to teach, he loves to motivate. But more than anything, his life's fantasy is to bicycle around the globe via breweries. What the hell is going on here?
I love it.
I mean, basically, that's not just your dream, my friend. That's probably every one of our dreams.
Well, I love biking, and it's really about the reward at the end. I really do want to bicycle. During college, I went 1,200 miles cross country and loved it. And I really want to travel the world by bike, but I need the reward at the end.
By the way, Mr. iSocial fans, Brian Fanzo says, Bill bringing the coffee energy for us tonight. Absolutely love it. You know, I wanted to on my
Brian.
On my 50th birthday, which was last year, and for some reason people weren't traveling much during December of 2020. But one of the things I wanted to do was do the whiskey trail in Scotland, and instead, I think I did a whiskey trail, but it was up and down my driveway, and you know, the only accents were South African accents. But maybe I will get to do that with you as we bike around the world from distilleries to breweries. Here's something else we learned about you: from breweries to distilleries to juries. And it turns out that you have only served on jury duty once when you helped indict mobster John Gotti. I mean, how about that for one and done? Thank God you weren't one and done, if you know what I'm saying.
I literally know where the bodies were buried.
Even the animated ones, apparently. Yes. Well, let's just hope that no one from the Gotti family are watching tonight's show. Otherwise, I definitely will want to be not famous. One more little fun fact about you, which is cardboard boxes. I love this. Your most valuable, valueless possession is a cardboard box that sits atop your childhood front hallway closet, on which your mom wrote Billy's scarves and mittens.
And I've got to thank Fast Company for asking that question years ago. It was a great, great question. It really, what I would ask everyone, what is your most valuable, valueless possession? Think about it. And it's usually about family, but think about what it is.
I don't have to think too hard at all. It was a giraffe that my late father gave me when I was 2 years old. He passed away when I was 4. And I used to take it everywhere. I took it to sleepovers. I took it when I went out the country, and it sits here in the US with me. It is so old right now that when you even touch Jaffe, as he was named, he starts to disintegrate. But he is my most valuable, maybe it's a she, I don't know, valueless possession. Why is this, though, your most valuable, valueless possession?
The moment that Fast Company asked that question, it was shortly after my mom died. And I was just realizing this was one of the things I have from her that was so precious about us.
Isn't that funny how in both cases our most valuable, valueless possession is something tied to a parent? And it's funny how it's something tangible, right? A material or materialistic item, when in actual fact, the real valuable or priceless asset is emotion and memories and things that you can't touch. Well, thank you for sharing that. I had no idea we would be going in that direction, but on this show...
quick aside, the prosecuting attorney on John Gotti, his name was Rudy Giuliani.
And spelt R-U-D-E-E. Wait, the same one? I don't believe it.
The same one.
Well, there you go. Just tell me if Sacha Baron Cohen was around. We'll leave.
So.
We will leave that topic for another day. Bill, there's so much to talk to you about, and I think we will get to this just magnificent book in a moment. But in truth, it's not the first book. I mean, you've written all of these books, things that I connect with so strongly. The future, disruption. But the thing that I think you really own, so much so that it's part of your domain, it's your company, is simplicity. Tell us a little bit about the power of simplicity and your specific lens or filter in terms of how you view this.
Over the last 30 years, especially with the internet and all social media exploding, and especially with everybody having full-time access to us 24/7, we are all on overload. We are all ADD. We're all just suffering with too much. And basically, I started studying. My master's thesis was on how do we make work simpler. And I put it out there on the web, and a book agent came along and said, you should write a book about that. And that became my first bestseller. But what I discovered about the simplicity, the essence of it, for over 35 years, it really comes down to a different word. It's empathy, putting ourselves in the shoes of the other person. And I discovered this in my junior year in undergraduate and Rochester Institute of Technology in upstate New York. I was taking a logic course, if then and or PQ questions. And I was bored. I had aced it in high school and we were using the same text. So I blew it off. I blew off the midterm. I went up around the lake. I went to Toronto, Canada, and I did all sorts of things, legal and illegal, to change my brain. And I stumbled into the Ontario Science Center. And I discovered way in the back of the museum, there were these kids playing a maze. There were about 20 ping pong balls at the top. And the goal was, with a limited number of levers, to get one ping pong ball to drop through the maze. And I watched them blow it once, blow it twice. The third time they got it, and they were high-fiving each other. And I realized at that moment, they were taking my college-level logic exam. If you recall, those of you that remember it, an and statement needs two halves of the statement to be true. An or statement, only one half of the statement to be true. They figured out it's just like binary programming. 2 gates or 1 gate, and or. And they figured out college level logic. And the difference was the interface was designed at their level for 4th or 5th or 6th graders. And I realized the essence of simplicity, anybody can solve any problem ever if you organize it at their level. Unfortunately, in most workplaces, everything is corporate centered. It's like giving a 5th grader a college level textbook and say, figure it out. We've got to start getting what's called design thinking, working backwards from the needs of the individual. And that's the essence of simplicity. Everything can be simple if you organize the challenge at the level of the people that need to work on it.
Now, I need to make a very important clarification, one which that I know that you will concur with, and that is something that I often say, which is simple but not simplistic.
Yes.
This isn't about dumbing it down at all. It is about ... complete the sentence.
Exactly. In the same way that great facilitators can think about and structure a certain question that it seems so obvious and so simple, but it's so powerful, it opens up completely new dialogue for everyone. So it's not simplistic, as in dumbed down. It's getting to the essence of something and organizing the conversation, the work, the product, whatever it is, in a way that everyone else can engage in it.
I love that idea about simplicity is essentially about essence. It's about distilling something to its root, stripping away all the fluff, all the fat, all the excess, in order to find the truth.
And I think one of the things, absolutely, Joseph, and one of the reasons I was able to work on this, I didn't realize that I would be having a 2nd or 3rd or 4th career. My first one was in graphic design. And I was taught by, I had this drilled into me over and over and again by an instructor from Basel, Switzerland. It was the Bauhaus movement of design, which came from Switzerland and Germany in the 20s and 30s. And it was, that whole school of design was anal compulsive about form follows function. Get rid of all frou-frou, get to the essence. For example, the typeface Helvetica came through this particular school of design. So did German and Swiss architecture that was very plain and simple. So it really is great simplicity, gets to the essence of every problem quickly and easily.
Now, one of the things that I did notice in your website is a very simple elevator pitch, if you will, because every pitch, every value proposition should also be simple. And you just say, I make it easier for you to do great work. Simple,
well,
right?
Speak of simplistic versus simplicity. That took me about 7 or 8 years of having my own corporate mission statement to figure out. It was not easy to get to that, but making it easier to do great work. Yes, that's the essence of what I try to do.
So you spoke about this idea of, corporatese and corporatizing. Just give us maybe one quick example of, especially now, let's bring this into this hybrid workplace and the future of work, which is something that you think about very deeply. How does simplicity shine through, and what are your thoughts in general about the future of work?
We're at a big turning point. We have an opportunity based on what we all experienced in 2020 and for the last year and a half. We've experienced a massive turning point where every single rule got rewritten. And yet, are we truly taking advantage of that? So the essence of simplicity is working backwards from every worker's needs, not necessarily designing things the way they were. We are still, I have a master's in HR. I've worked in human resources and corporate change and corporate transformation for over 3 decades. And we are still designing things from the company's perspective, not the worker's perspective. So it's not the workforce's problem that things are so complex. It's because we're not designing things from their perspective. And Joseph, I said earlier, the essence is empathy. Years ago, I was working with one of the world's largest battery, that we would put in toys, battery manufacturers. And it was one of the worst performing plants in the company's spectrum of plants around the world. And I went in and the plant manager said, help us. And I just talked to people. I talked to people on the shop floor. I said, what do you need us to fix? And he said, okay, we got to fix the machinery. We got to fix the culture. We got to fix this. We got to fix that. The work procedures, the tools. I said, yes, you do need to fix all that. But you want to know what they wanted? Paint the bathrooms. Why was that? Respect. They walked in there and they didn't feel they were respected. So they didn't feel cared about. I've done another, a call center organization. I was called in to find why morale was tanking so badly. And, is it this? Is it that? Do we not have enough training and development? Do we not have enough bonuses? Do we not give them enough training? And I talked to the people, and it cost them probably about $15 each to fix it. It was the headsets that sucked. They couldn't hear the customers. So they weren't doing good customer service. What I've discovered is most problems in the workplace are what I call pebble in the shoe problems. They're pretty easy to fix for low cost. We only discover them if we put ourselves in the other person's shoes and stop trying to organize things from the company's perspective.
So there's a great thread here about corporate-centric versus employee-centric. It is one of the biggest challenges that we see companies just falling and failing time after time, just not being able to reverse engineer, to your point. So you've done a couple of things, but one of the things that I just find fascinating is you wrote a book called The Day Tomorrow Said No, as you would say it. But this book is different. This book is different in so many ways. Tell us about the spark, the genesis, the approach. Set it up and swing for the fences. And I look forward to cheering you when all three batters come home and you hit that grand slam.
I don't know if I can live up to that. But here's the setup. Here's how the book evolved. I really wanted, this is my 9th book. I really wanted to write a book that originally I was taking the inspiration from Al Gore's Inconvenient Truths. I wanted to talk about the inconvenient truths that businesses and leaders were not facing. And I realized that, if I just wrote it the same as every other business book, nobody would listen, nobody would care. It would just go, end up in the wasteland. So I took the inspiration from this book from a data point that I had collected over several years. I asked thousands of people across the globe, can you achieve your dreams where you currently work? Now, I know you've skimmed the material, but if I were to ask you, Joseph, that question, average person, average workplace, and the answer can be from 0% to 100% would say, yes, I can achieve my dreams. Before you got my materials, what percentage would you have guessed? The percentage of people who would say, yes, I can achieve my dreams where I currently work.
And these are, we'll keep it broad, right? They could be personal dreams, professional dreams. What percentage of people said I can? Wow. I'm going to say it's going to be low. And but in a show about hope, positivity, and optimism, I'm going to go with 50%, even though I know the number is ridiculously lower.
Unfortunately, it's 10%.
Wow.
9.8. Now think about it. Forget my book, forget everything else. Just think about that concept. Only 1 in 10 of us can achieve our dreams where we currently work. What does that say about the future of work? Put aside artificial intelligence and social media and all that other stuff. What does that say about our future? Well, that was the inspiration for the book. I decided, I know from my experience that storytelling is the best way to get any idea across. So I decided to create a story around that data point, that less than 10% of us can achieve our dreams where we currently work. It's called the Inciting Incident. And I created 3 characters: today, tomorrow, and little one. As you can see on your screen, today keeps us planning, going. He's the check, 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 get it done kind of guy. Tomorrow, so today is our present. Tomorrow is our future. She gives us reasons to care. She ignites us to keep us going. And little one is team future, the workforce of the future. So I created these 3 characters, and the way things have always gone throughout human history, the way the future happens, is today hands off to tomorrow. Well, in the spread we just passed, tomorrow says, hey, no, you're setting up 8 billion people to fail. I'm sorry. No, you had 1 job and you didn't do it. You didn't prepare our workforce for the future. So you're not handing this mess off to me. No, I'm not taking it. That's where tomorrow said no. She was essentially where we move from metaphor and fable to reality, is tomorrow is running out of dreams. With only 10% of us being able to achieve our dreams, tomorrow is running out of dreams.
Tomorrow is running out of dreams. And I found this was the quote that I selected for you. Dreams don't work unless you do. There were so many ways to interpret that. This is from John Maxwell. How do you interpret that quote based on this conversation?
Oh, I love it. And it's I didn't use that quote, but the idea is towards the end of the book, which is we all have a personal accountability. Yes, it's nice to dream, and have your vision. What's your bucket list? What's your dream? What's your vision? What's the legacy you want to leave? But they don't work unless you do. You've got to work to achieve it. So at the end of the book, it was about what are our personal accountabilities to stop leaving so many people behind and stop leaving so many dreams behind.
You know what? One of the things that we do on this new rebooted Joseph Jaffe is Not Famous is slowly but surely I'm rolling out correspondence. A la the Daily Show. The goal is this is the strategy. It's not even being held close to my chest. Is that everyone from Linwood Cochran, who you saw, the audience warmer, to Needy Tawari, who is in charge of Wellness Wednesdays, become so much more famous than I am that they leave the show. But Needy, do not leave the show right now. She delivers a vignette every Wednesday. And I thought this would be an appropriate time, actually, in the middle or towards the end of our conversation, to hear her, and then maybe for both of us to react to that. So here's Needy.
Hey everyone, thank you all so much for joining me for today's Wellness Wednesday segment. My name is Needy Tawari, and today we're going to be dispelling the myth that we have to be in the midst of a mental health crisis to seek out mental health therapy and support. Now, I think that often we think about mental health differently than we think about our physical health. But I think that they are both requiring us to attend and do some preventive care. So in the same way that with our physical health, we go to the doctor for a yearly physical. When we're feeling ill, we go to seek the doctor's support and we get some medication prescribed to us. And, we may go in for an occasional workup just to make sure that everything is on track. The same goes for our emotional and mental well-being. I think that we don't have to be in the throes of a depressive episode or struggling tremendously with anxiety or trauma to seek out a therapist. If you just want to be able to have a neutral sounding board with whom you can process the day-to-day events, talk about relationships, work, friendships, family, all of the above, therapy can be a wonderful place to have that neutral party that's there to listen and validate you. I do think that if you're encountering even minor stressors in your relationships or in your work, that it's wonderful to be able to get that support and develop some skills and tools to manage the stressors that you may be experiencing. So if you want to seek out a therapist, you can go online. There's a multitude of websites out there that will allow you to find the right fit of therapist. You can pick a particular therapeutic modality, presenting concern, even narrow it down based off of your insurance. And so I want to encourage each of you to consider seeking out that support today. And I want you all to tune in next time for our Wellness Wednesday segment. Thanks so much for joining. This is Nidhi Tiwari signing off.
I did notice that she was a little bit softer. Bob Farnham said, can you turn up the audio for Nidhi? Bill, I put this in and I wanted you to react to it as well, because I think this might be one of those simple truths and items that companies can do for, to empathize. It's not just checking the box and saying, have a mental health day, but it's really committing to self-care or to the mental health and wellness of employees, especially coming back from such an ridiculously, unprecedented time.
Absolutely. And forgive me for putting on my HR hat. There's a difference between wellness and well-being. We need wellness programs or stop smoking, lose weight, all those other things. Well-being is holistic. It's, mental, it's physical, it's emotional. And corporations are the biggest problems in the way we design work. We create all these stressors. And in the past year, suddenly everybody discovered, hey, I don't have to have my butt in the chair. I can be productive at home. We all discovered that. And the stats support it. The data supports that the last year has been more productive than ever. And people were able to manage their work-life balance better. So well-being is important. And we need to think about not just emotional check-ins, not just wellness, health care check-ins. We need to start thinking about the design of work and why does it create so much stress and so many problems for so many people.
So I'm looking at a well said. I'm not even going to add anything to something that is perfect. But I will say Bob Farnham says, remove hashtag the pebble in the shoe. And earlier, Manif said he was loving this. Queenie says she wants one, meaning your book, but she can't see the link for the book. And I'm going to have to make sure that we show that to her in a moment. And Michael Gwynn, who was on the show yesterday, said, hey, Joseph, came to support you, bro. He was just tremendous as well. As Phantom Knoet is going to be as well in a few moments. Queenie says, I cannot wait to get the book, and really just loves this quote, tomorrow is running out of dreams. So powerful. Thank you for inspiring us, Bill. It's almost time to let you go. Well, not let you go, but just let you maybe go and get a glass of red wine as well. I want to make sure that people do know where they can get a free copy of the book. Just go to tomorrowsaidwhy.es. Get it? I thought, it's not Spanish, the book, I don't think so. I think ES might be Spain, but it's Tomorrow Said Yes, but Tomorrow Said Why.es. A beautiful little spin. What's going on here with the book is called Tomorrow Said No. The URL says Tomorrow Said Yes.
Reality and hope. So reality is tomorrow said no and to force a change, but the website is hopeful.
I love that as well. You can connect with Bill on LinkedIn at is that Simple to On Bill or is it Simpleton Bill?
Simpleton Bill. Simpleton Bill.
So he's humble and self-deprecating as well. Is he not the nicest man in the whole world? Again, you can find out more about him, his books and his work at simplerwork.com. You can follow him on Twitter. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we will bring you back at the end after Phantom performs. But my question to you is, you made it free. Why?
I wanted people to be able to use it easily and just get it out there. So free for shipping. It costs shipping and handling, but I wanted to give it to the masses.
And we thank you for it. We thank you for it. I cannot wait to read my copy. And thank you for inspiring us and realizing that with all the complexity and the complication of the work from home reality and the hybrid workplace and the Zoom and the yada, 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 it all does boil down to simplicity. It boils down to respect. It boils down to humanity, and it boils down to empathy. Thank you, Bill, and we'll see you in a few moments. Well, that was Bill Jensen, and now it is time to bring on our wonderful creator. I hope you enjoyed the first segment. I know you will enjoy the second segment as we bring her on. And as always, just a little bit of background about our wonderful, famous guests on the show. Phantom Knoet is a professional strategy consultant, life skills educator, and orator with over 20 years of results-driven experience, from conducting seminars to facilitating productions at the African American Research Library and Cultural Center in Broward County and the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture in Harlem. She ensures that hard-to-reach populations have access to self-sufficiency, upward economic mobility, and spiritual healing. I feel like every guest is just, more of a saint than the previous one. Do not get alarmed. Do not adjust your set. It is time to welcome her on. Phantom Knoet, welcome to the show.
Welcome. I am shaking, trembling, twitching like a leaf. There is a presence coming over me. My mind is blank and cluttered all at once. My once stable knees are knocking hard as I stand in the face of adversity. This controversy dares speak, but my weak, my jaw is feeble, and I'm dry, and the twinkle of my eyes are unbelievable. I need an IV of Jack Daniels. This situation is one I never thought I'd handle. Now I'm caught in the thick of the scandal where I'm drawn to be the vandal. These are the moments serial killers are born. I hear the toot of the train's horn, storming towards me, its rumble warns. I ignore. My mind devises plans only convicts understand. I am ready to die for this cause. I was born to die for this cause. I am willing to die for this cause. Hear me and hear me well. I will never commit suicide. So I decide that I will fight. I begin to throw at the vintage. My voice pours sugar in the tank. My fingers linger in great fluid as I engrave an epitaph on the hood. Here I stood, ready to end this ride, prepared to earn my pride. I once lied and said that I would handle things differently. But when that moment came to me, I allowed my mind to carry me. Forget my heart. It died from a pumping overload as stories were told of my eventual demise. Look back up to the skies because my hands tremble no more. I have no more shaking in store. I am no longer scared my knees will drop to the floor because my mind elevated. My position changed, my anxiety rearranged. For a change, I faced my challenge and overcame. I overcame. So what you heard about me, dismiss it. For I am a book without a cover or binding, winding in and out of expectancies and visions. Missions of grandeur color the picturesque quest of my mind. I am undefinable by all but spiritual definitions, pushing limits to extinction, adapting to every condition of the human experience. I am unbelievable, stupendously precise, passion's perception. Whatever you read about me, ignore it. For I am the author of my demise. The preachings and teachings of wolves does lie. The multifaceted acts of my existence transcends beyond the pen of men and women that yearn to illustrate my ways, says the word. Judge not that ye be not judged. Whatever you think about me, forget it. For I am beyond the thoughts once marinated in your head. Reframe each picture your feeble mind does draw. To place me in a category, a function, a purpose, undefined by the omega, your imagination must be tainted by Sega. And yet I am not known to your thoughts as an agitator, instigator, bird transportator, and even player hater, but your synapses misses the mark. Less of what you see, more of what you want. Whatever you know about me, regret it. For it will cause you to take my drama for naivety, cause you to take my geekness for weakness, cause you to sleep on my wisdom and knowledge attained at your expense, cause you to feel my energies as cataclysmic change, making your accomplishments my ladders and your goals my rungs. For what you know is that you don't know that I know that you don't know that I am whatever. Whatever I say, swallow it, for it will be food to the body and manna to the soul, healing iniquity, scars of doom. No longer shall phantom let ignorance bloom, for where there are lies, I'll break the spell. I'm commissioned to tell the infallible truth. I speak of love, of God, of man, of war, of peace, of economy's demand, of life, of death, and even this beautiful deep voice on bequest. For whatever I do shall prosper, despite sights of circumstances and plunderings. For whatever I set my mind to achieve, I achieve. I achieve in a thought to achieve. As I rest, my higher level being achieves. I experience to experience wisdom's inflections. I do whatever you heard I do, say I do, think I do, and know I do. For now, I do take permanent space in all of you. I overcame whatever.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I was just like bringing you on, and I was going to say welcome to the show, and the force just overcame me. The crowds are going wild. Bill is back. That was, as Queenie said, that was power. That was power. What did you think, Bill?
I'm blown away. Phantom, I'm just blown away.
I know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Much gratitude. Much gratitude. I'm
You know,
fanning myself.
You should. I'm going to fan you as well. You know what was so great about that was we actually saw you transform, and we'll leave it at that. Let me make that full screen.
Let's do a transformation. Want to know what I know? She transforms.
It's amazing. I mean, in many respects, you know, in many respects, this is an actor, right? This is the power to take on a persona. But ultimately, it's what's so amazing to me is you with the mask and you without the mask. With the mask, you know, as the old saying is, you know, don't phantom, right? Without the mask, fun-loving, you know, playful, mischievous, sprite, impish, two very different halves of an unbelievable whole.
Oh, I'm baffled. I'm taking it all in. Thank you so much. I like the mask on and mask off in one place. You know, it sort of gives you a little range.
I'll give you the little rim shot for that one as well. I want to make sure that we actually discuss something a little bit, I think close to your heart, and something that I found like just unbelievable. But before we do that, I want to ask you a question, which is, I know what the Dead Poets Society is, but I want to know, what is the Alive Knoet Society?
Poet Society. We're the ones that live by the quality moral code. The quality moral code is we are the truth, honor, and execution. And when you know it, you know it. I can't tell you that you live by the truth, honor, and execution. You execute it, and we know it. That's what it's about.
So I could have said you're a poet and you didn't know it, but you definitely do know it. Here's something. It's like a dad joke. We, you know, I mean, they're laughing at me, not with me, but that's okay. I want to talk to you. Stop. I want to talk to you about this crazy thing that, you know, is happening in your life, and I want to be able to kind of give you a voice and give you a platform. What is going on with this I know you have a GoFundMe. I know you have a change.org going on. How on earth could they steal your face and not pay you for it, or not give you your face back?
How can you do that? How? Right now, we do not have precedents in the United States as a result of this thing called slavery.
and certain people being considered 3/5 of a human, and the way that laws are applied through precedents in order to receive the benefits, not an act of civil right, but the enforcement and prosecution, you have to have enforcement, so there's a precedent set. And believe it or not, there is no precedent in the United States for a person with this phenotype having their right to privacy and publicity asserted and respected unless they were a part of a corporation or company like Universal Records or Walt Disney. And so that I have maintained my own autonomy from the beginning of my existence, and my parents did the same for me. We ended up an anomaly in this system. And so I guess it has been normal place for Black, so-called Black or African-American type people, for them to be used and exploited without them having recourse. And so this is why I'm sitting here. So they took my face and they decided that what they've entered in the record is that Martin Luther King supports this because Black people do not believe in individual economics, that they believe in group economics. And as such, my face is an algorithm of all Black women's features. And they use the Koond law, Koonz, to support them that I'm a caricature if anyone supports me, and it is not for my own enterprise. And so it's a very detailed case because they're just asserting that I'm not human and I don't have the right to my own face. And they have the historical backing for it, unfortunately, in America. So that's where it's sitting. You can actually look you can Google the case, Darden versus One United Bank, and you can read it. It would be really good if people read it and found out what the true precedence is. So that's why I'm fighting. So it's they've used it on credit cards, on the funeral home fans and billboards in Times Square on their business cards. And so they pretty much said, we're connected with Obama. We're connected with Maxine Waters. We're pretty connected with the Black elite. So we don't have to deal with you. And that's the simple part of it.
You know, we had a conversation with Bill earlier. We spoke about humanity. We spoke about empathy. And also it was funny, even in delivering that very, very, very powerful overcame whatever. You spoke about categorization and you spoke about labels and what people might label you or how you might label yourself. I think it almost comes full circle, Bill, when we think about kind of, you didn't actually, I didn't ask you about this, but I would love for you to, just weigh in as well, but also to talk about believers, breakers, and builders. And maybe from, this is a softball for you, my friend. What am I? Am I a believer, a breaker, or a builder? And what is Phantom? Is she a believer, a breaker, or a builder?
Oh, Phantom is breaker. She's out there.
I don't even know what the other categories are, but
yeah. Breakers are the ones that put things in our face and say we have to change. But they are also the believers. Phantom you are a perfect example of, let's say there's a famous Swedish teenager who's saying, hey, I believe we need to change climate change, but I'm in your face about it. You know, you are just like her. You're in our face. That is both believing passionately that things have to change. But what I love about Phantom, you're who you are. As I was listening to you, remind me of Dave Chappelle getting up and saying, the Chappelle show, is monetized without my permission. They stole it. And he said, don't patronize my art because it was taken from me. And you reminded me of him and what he stands for. And thank you for taking a stand. It's so important for all of us to take a stand for who we are and what we believe in and not have that stolen from us. So believers are the ones who go rah, rah, rah when things are going great, but stand up and say, we have to challenge the system. Breakers are the Phantoms of the world who say, and the Steve Jobs and Elon Musks and all the others who stand up and say there has to be a better way. And the builders are the ones that build the systems around new ways of doing things.
All right, and very quickly in the time we have left, what am I?
Oh, you in the community building, you are the believer. You are the one that believe in all of us. And all of us.
You're 2 for 2. Indeed.
So sweet.
Indeed. I love that. And you know, we have about 30 seconds left, but is it possible? I mean, so many questions to ask you, but maybe in the reunion show on Friday, if you can attend, we can answer that. Is it possible? Does someone have to? I assume people don't have to fit into either of those three categories. That's the whole, but can everyone? Should everyone?
It's be aware of the personas that you bring. Phantom has a business persona, has a friend persona, has a lover, has a partner persona, and has an in-your-face persona. We all do. It's knowing which one to use at what time.
Well, listen, this is why the show is called Joseph Jaffe is Not Famous, because you met the very famous Bill Jensen and Phantom Knoet. You guys were amazing. Again, if you want to connect and join the Knoet Society, if you want to work with her, just go to phantomknoet.com. You can connect with her on Instagram. Subscribe to her channel to see more of these unbelievably powerful performances. You can connect with her on Facebook. And of course, send her a tip through Cash App Phantom Knoet, because everything counts as well. Bill Jensen, Phantom Knoet, hopefully you guys will be back on a Friday. Bob Farnham says another cool show. Queenie says, I stand with Wanda. And you know who else stands with you? The mask is back on, which means she means business. But you know who else stands with you? Chuck Norris stands with you, guys.
You are Chuck Norris approved.
There you go. And I will be back tomorrow, 12 noon, for my last show until the break. We'll be giving away more Jaffe coin. There'll be a reunion show on Friday. Take care, everybody. Phantom, you rock. Bill, you are a rock. And I am going to roll right now. I will see you guys soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for watching the show about hope, positivity, optimism, and if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing with your host, multiple author, and global keynote speaker, Joseph Jaffe. If you like the show, tell a friend or two. Please subscribe to the show, and if you want to get inside news, previews of upcoming guests, and much more, visit josephjaffe.com/subscribe to sign up for the show's newsletter.
And despite the best ministrations of your wife, you still look ugly.